Today, we are starting off, actually kicking off with our part one of our Exxat Prism training series. This is a Thursday training series that walks you through the entire product of Exxat Prism, all the modules, all the sections one by one. Today is our introductory webinar, and on this webinar in the next 60 minutes or so, I'm going to walk you through the overarching sections of the product, the design of the product, what are the different user access levels that are possible, what are the different product customizations that are available for you, so that you can tailor make this system to work for you in the best possible way. We're also going to talk about what are the common ways that you can collaborate with all the stakeholders that you work with, be it your students, your faculty, your site partners, your clinical supervisors, and so on. I'll also click down on the program section of our product in this introductory webinar. So we are hoping that this will give you a very well-rounded idea of what Exxat Prism is about. Now, whether you are a new user who's just getting onboarded on Exxat Prism or you're a seasoned user, I think this webinar can add value for you by showing you all the different capabilities that this product has to offer. A couple of housekeeping announcements before we get started. Today, I'll be using a combination of PowerPoint presentation, and I'll also go on the live system to show you some screens. We'll also do a couple of poll questions just for us to gauge what is the usage of some of the features that we are offering. And we'll also go through some question opportunities. So we do have a couple of question breaks that are built in, and we're happy to address any questions that we can help answer. So I'd highly encourage you to start typing up any questions that you may have in the question section, and my colleague Ami will be manning those, and during the question breaks, we'll get those answered for you. If you look at your GoToWebinar control panel, you'll also see a handout section, and we've shared this PowerPoint presentation that I'm going to use today for the webinar with you. So if you would like, feel free to follow along. We also have a survey, a quick feedback survey at the end of webinar that we would like for you to take. It'll take you less than a minute. Today, I'm going to use in the live system and screenshots, you'll see that we've used samples and screenshots from different disciplines because we have about 80 to 85 different disciplines that use our product. And in the live system, I'm going to showcase the PA discipline. However, the same features are available for all discipline, and all data and screenshots that we are showing are mock data that have been artificially inserted for demo purposes. So this is not any actual data of any customer. All right, so with that, let's get started. So this is the overall agenda for the next 1 hour or so. Let me go into PowerPoint presentation full mode. All right. So before we get started, we have a quick poll for you. How would you rate your understanding of Exxat Prism system? And Ami, if you'd like to, thank you for pulling up the poll. Are you just starting to learn? Are you trained, but you've not really started to use the system yet for managing your program? Or are you a seasoned user, a superstar user? All right, I see that you all are responding, and majority of you have responded that you're just starting to learn, which is great. Thank you for taking the time and committing to this learning, because I think with this webinar series, you're going to get a lot of value, and you'll know about all the features and capabilities that we have to offer you. You know, you'd be surprised to know how often, like, we have users who've used our system for a long time, but just because we keep adding new features every 6 to 8 weeks, sometimes it's hard to keep up with the evolving product. And some of our users don't know that the feature that they would have loved to use, it's already there. So I think it's a great idea to sign up for this entire webinar series if you're not already done. So it's already published on our website. That way you don't miss any part of learning. And even if you cannot attend it live, you will get a recording sent to your email if you register for the series. So I would highly encourage you to go and register for the entire series and make your colleagues aware of this as well if you think they would benefit from this. All right, thank you for your responses. I think some of you have trained but not used yet, and which is the case sometimes, because you get your onboarding and then for a while you've not started planning for your rotation. So that can be a use case. And then we have almost quarter of our attendees today who are seasoned users. So thank you for using Exxat, and let us know what your feedback is. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and keep moving forward. So just an overview of, at a very high level, and this is a 200 feet view, what can Prism do for you? Look at all these boxes that you see. Exxat Prism is right in the center. On the top, you have data management. So Exxat Prism is a data management system, right? It helps you streamline, organize, collect, process, analyze, and make sense out of all this data that you have. It could be data from all your different stakeholders like students, preceptors, CIs, sites, faculty, staff, and you need to make heads and tails out of all this data. It also helps you manage and plan all your data and get insights from it so you can continuously improve your program. You can manage your site data, your contracts, CVs, licensures, documents for all your users, and so forth. On the left-hand side, you see an orange box where you see curriculum management. Exxat Prism has one of the most comprehensive curriculum management tool, which will not only allow you to build a curriculum from scratch that talks to your accreditation and professional standards and competencies, but it will also allow you to manage your faculty, their portfolios, their professional development activities, their CVs, all of that. It will also give you detailed reports on the curriculum mapping and help you prepare all the reports that you need for accreditation. On the right-hand side, the green box talks about compliance tracking, right? And now we have also activated compliance for faculty. So not only can you track compliance for your students, but also for your faculty if you choose to. And when we say compliance, we're not just talking about your health documents, but also your non-health documents that you need to track. So for example, the OSHA training, FERPA training, cybersecurity, Title IX trainings, you could track all of these certifications and trainings for your student as well as your faculty body. So just don't think about immunization or health or background checks or drug screening, but think overall compliance management. Everything that you need to track, you can do in Prism. We also have 2 extra add-on services. So those just popped up by data management and approved services. So these are our data integration. It's an add-on service that we offer. So if you are a big institute that deals with like hundreds of students at a time, and if you do not want to keep manually adding your student registrations to courses, and that which faculty are teaching which courses and which faculty are advising which students, if you don't want to do this manually, and if you have a LMS or a SIS with which you want to integrate in Exxat so that Exxat can automatically pull all these data from your LMS or SIS, we are able to do that. So we do offer data integrations as an add-on service, and reach out to us if you're interested in this, and our team will get on a call, understand your needs, and we can give you a solution on a case-by-case basis. Similarly, we also offer an approve service. Basically, it's a service for tracking compliance. So if you do not have a personal or a staff member that who can go and track compliance by checking all the student uploaded documents by themselves, we offer that service for you. So our trained, experienced, approved service team members, and these are health professionals who will go and check and approve these compliance documents for you based on the guidelines that you have set forth. So that's the add-on service that we also have. So if you're currently not using Approve, think about it as a value add if you think that your organization can benefit from it. Email us about it and we're happy to give you more information. The purple box that you see here are learning activities. One of the most important things that an academic program needs to worry about is student performance, right? And in Exxat Prism, we have a variety of learning activities that can help you cater to those needs, be it assignments, be it tracking the time that the students spend on their clinical rotations, whether you want to track competencies for your students, or whether you want to help your students log their patient interactions via patient logs. All of this can be done via learning activities. And the most important two things: how are your students evaluated by their supervisors, and you should also be able to get good reporting. So Prism can do all of that for you. Last but not the least, the teal colored box on the bottom right, which is clinical placements. Again, this is what you signed up with Exxat for. This is the flagship meat of our product, and we do a pretty decent job out of the clinical placements, right? So you're going to be able to collect availability and slots from your partner sites. You're going to be able to collect student preferences if they have any, in terms of what kind of clinical experiences do they want to get. You can also make matches between your student preferences and your available slots. And we also have a smart matching algorithm, which we call Placement Assist. And we are also able to help you collect all the site-specific documents that your site partners require for the students to be compliant with before your students can start with the clinical rotations. So all of this can be done via one integrated system. And what's the importance of one platform? The importance is because all your data is in one place. So imagine how easy it to pull all the reports that you need across all your personas, across all your users for your accreditation, for your in-house enhancements that you want to do. And once one integrated system will allow you to do that. And it can save you lots of time and efficiency. The same building blocks do not have to be uploaded on multiple systems. For example, the same course will be used for curriculum mapping on one side and for clinical placements on the other side. Imagine if you were using a separate system for curriculum mapping and a separate one for managing your clinical placements, you would have to upload your courses or your curriculum 2 times in 2 different systems, and all your data and reporting would be divided, but not in Prism. Everything is in one place. Everything is tied to each other. So that's the benefit of this comprehensive integrated system for you. So if you are already using and subscribing Prism, but you're not using one of these sections, reach out to your account manager or CSS and ask them about it, and we can get you started on it. So some terminology so that we're all on the same page as we go through this webinar and in the following webinars in this series. So rotation is what we call a time frame during which students undertake their clinical experiences. So depending on your discipline, this could be 6 to 8 weeks, 4 weeks, or non-consecutive, which is students go part-time on Tuesdays and Thursdays on different days of the month. So all of that would be part of the rotation. Cohort is usually a way to organize your students into groups. For non-lockstep programs that do not follow the concept of cohort, think about cohort as just a grouping mechanism. Course offering is your base courses, which are offered again and again every year. So a course offering will typically be a base course, which is paired up with an academic year and a term in which it is offered and to which students register. Placement group is a set of courses containing placements that need to be managed together. So this is a feature that we offer in Exxat Prism, which allows you to group your clinical placement courses that you want to look at together. So all the students for those 5 or 6 courses, you'll be able to see in one go. If you want to share slots and manage placements across these 5 courses, you can easily do it together. And then you can also get reports from all of this data. So that's our way of allowing you to manage multiple courses that are related to each other. Maybe what they all belong to one clinical year in one go. And then learning activity group is a similar concept, but instead of placements, you're managing learning activities of a group of courses together in one go. All right, so let's begin with user access. Now, if you already have user access, you already know which role you have. However, I'd still take 2 minutes to walk you through all the different user access levels that we offer. That way, in your view, if you think that there is a different role and access level that would benefit the tasks and responsibilities that you have at your school, you can make those adjustments. Or if you are faculty attending this webinar, you can reach out to your administrator to ask them if that different access would benefit you in getting your job done easily. So in Exxat Prism, we offer direct access to the system, and we also offer indirect, very limited access to the system via a delegated link. And we also support different user personas. So let's go through these one by one. For direct access, we support 4 different personas. The student persona, so all your students get a student role and a student login. All your faculty members get a limited data access. It's a different faculty module access that they get, which is slightly less than the administrator, the program administrator access. So because we have to think about HIPAA and FERPA regulations, your faculty will only get access to the courses, to the students that they are associated with, right? So that's the faculty access. Then we have the program administrator access. So think about a university which has multiple programs, PT, OT, PA, nursing. So each of those programs will have a program administrator. Maybe it's a director of the program, maybe it's the dean of the program, maybe it's the department chair. So that's the access. So that's the highest access possible for that particular program, and that individual would have full access to the entire data set of the program. And they'll also be able to manage the users and privileges for all the other users of that program. And then the highest level of access is the institutional administrator. And if think about it as a university level officer. And this particular individual would have university level access, as in they would have access to data from all the programs belonging to that university. And examples of these could be contract manager, compliance managers, university health services or student services directors, and so forth. On the right hand side in the blue section, what you have is one of the most limited access to data that you can provide via Exxat Prism. And this is not a direct access to the system or a direct login to the system, but rather a link that is shared for a very specific task or activity that the user needs to perform. Typically, this kind of access is provided to clinical supervisors or site staff, your site personnel, right? Your site personnel give you slots or availability. So they would get a link, they would click on it, and just one page would open up, which would tell them, give what availability or what slots can you give for our students for these courses, and they would just fill that one page and hit submit. They would not get access to our system directly. Similarly, if you're sending evaluations to your clinical supervisors for your students, they would get a link in an email and they would just open up that page, fill the evaluation for that student and submit it, and that's the end of it. So this is the most restricted indirect access, so that they can provide you the data that you're looking for. All right, so a little bit of click down on the faculty module access. Now, if you belong to a discipline such as PT, OT, or PA, there are less chances that you will use this role. However, we do have some schools that have leveraged the faculty access role even for these programs, but faculty module access is more prevalent in our nursing disciplines and other disciplines which engage a lot of adjunct faculty and who have a very broad group of faculty helping them with the program. And within this access, the faculty module access, we have 3 anchors on which you can provide access to your faculty. So faculty could be associated to courses and they would have full access to the course data via this association. They could be acting as advisors or mentors to a group of students. And in that case, these advisors would have data on how the student is performing on the different courses. And the third level of access is placement faculty. And these are faculty that are associated with specific placements, and they would only have access to that particular placement. So we again have more gradation in the site, in the faculty access, excuse me. And this access is based on their association with courses, students, or placements. And again, this allows Exxat Prism to support you completely, keeping FERPA regulations in mind. So you can take advantage of your faculty workforce, and they can effectively collaborate with you without oversharing. So the next few slides are just dashboards of how these different access dashboards look. So here we're showing you how the different access would look once you log in. Now, if you were someone who had institutional administrator access, then you would see institutional administrator, and you would click the tile under that to get your access. If you're a program administrator, you would click on the program that you're working with and get that access, versus if you're a program faculty, you would see those tiles. Now, this is a sample, so we are showing you all different access levels, but it's very unlikely that one individual would see all these 3 levels of access. They'll only see 1 or maximum 2 kinds of accesses, and they'll typically only see their own discipline, which is they would only see PT or PA or OT depending on which program they're working with. It's only the institutional administrator who might have access to multiple programs at the same time. We also have single sign-on, right? And we do that integration. We set up the single sign-on. That way, it's way easier for your users. They do not have to remember a separate login and password for Exxat. They can just keep using their university login and log into Exxat and get their work done. So we do have the facility of single sign-on, and we actually encourage our users to set it up. Our support team will help you. So if you're interested in integrating with single sign-on, reach out to us and we'll help you out. Next, I want to talk about the screen navigations and what's the overall design of Exxat Prism. So I think it's best I go into the live system at this point, and that will give you a better idea. So if I log in, once you log in, you're going to see a screen like this. This is a landing page for a program administrator, and this is the dashboard. And what you see here is you're going to see these 3 areas. On the left-hand side, you have all overarching program related elements, the program setup and details, your students, your faculty and staff, and your compliance. The middle section is your curriculum and curriculum mapping, so courses and curriculum mapping. And the right hand side is everything about placement management. So managing your site data, processing, student preferences and requests, managing your placements, and managing the learning activities for your students. So this is going to be your dashboard. We also have all these icons on the top that you can see. So I'm going to take a minute and walk you through those because these are super, super helpful. You see the megaphone icon here. If you click on that, what's going to happen is it's going to take you to the release notes section, and this is where all the announcements are for you as a user. These are announcements from Exxat, and we want to keep you updated on all the new features that we are releasing every 6 to 8 weeks. So this is a great way to keep up with the product. Anytime you click on the megaphone icon, you're going to see what was the latest release, what were the new features that were introduced, and that will always be populated on the top of this list on the left, and it will have a green latest label to it, and it will explain you what were all the new features under the different sections of Exxat Prism. On the right hand side, you're going to see if there's an upcoming release walkthrough webinar that is coming, then you're going to see a link for that. If the webinar has already happened, instead you're going to see a link to the recorded video. So if you missed the release walkthrough, this is an easy way to keep up with the product. We also have a chat box if you need help. This is a asynchronous 24/7 help that we provide, and if you have some quick questions, if you're trying to figure out certain part of the product, try out our chat function and our support team members should be able to help you. Then we have the question mark icon, and if you click on that, what you're going to see is if you're facing issues with the system and if you would like to bring that to our attention, you can raise a support ticket, report your problem, and our support team will get back to you within 24 to 48 hours. On the right hand side, you're going to get relevant help articles. So imagine I was on the student section and then I clicked on the help. It's going to start showing me all the student related documents here. From here, I also have a quick link to the help center and our YouTube channel where you'll see all the recorded videos of our help videos, training videos, webinars. It's a video repository. So if you're an audiovisual learner, check out our YouTube channel. It's a great resource. And then our help center has all the documents. If you're a reader and learn via reading, help center is a great way to go. We also have onboarding notes, and this is a section where when you undergo onboarding, your account managers, your CSS, or you utilize this as a post-it note. You can make your notes. These could be notes that you've made for yourself, or these could be notes that document what you have aligned with your account managers and CSS in terms of hey, we are planning to use faculty login for some of your users. That can be documented. Or if you plan to integrate with one of the systems like your SAS or LMS, you can say you're interested, so you want to schedule a call for that. You can say that under learning activities, we don't want to use patient logs, we don't use them. Any kind of note, even if it's notes that you're making for yourself, that I want to plan my wish lists and my clinical rotations 4 months in advance this year. You can make those notes. You can say, I want to open this kind of wish list this year for my students. So think about this as your notepad, and it's a very good way because it's inside the system, and that way it's great for anyone who's helping you learn this system, read the notes and know exactly what was discussed, with you and with the account manager and the CSS team. So I try this out, give this a try, and see if it's useful for you. All right, so then I'm going to show you the overall navigation. So I'm going to click on student section just as an example. And when you click on any section, you land on this grid for any of the sections, which will give you a repository of all the names in that section. So because I'm in the student section, you can see that all the students enrolled in this program are listed here. And This is a theme that you're going to see in different sections, under sites, under placements, under learning activities. You'll see a ribbon over here like this, and the ribbon always starts with setup, followed by that entity, whether it be students or faculty or placements or learning activities. Then you'll always see a report section for that entity. And then for some of the sections, we also have a dashboard, right? So these are some typical features that you will see here. And then what you'll see on the right hand side here is these icons. So let's quickly go through them as well. Wherever you see this export to Excel icon, this is basically your way of exporting the data that you see on the screen. So whatever you see on the screen can be exported into an Excel file that can be further used for reporting, further slicing and dicing, for sharing with other users, and so forth. You'll also see a spanner icon, and this is for editing your columns. So all the columns that you see on this grid can be either hidden or their sequence can be changed. So you just drag and drop to change the sequence of the columns. And you can, even if you don't want to see certain columns while you're working in the system, you can hide them. And you just click on save and it will start reflecting on this grid. Because we provide you with all the data here. But based on your role, you may not need all these columns every time, because then your scroll increases. So depending on what task you're trying to perform in the system, you can edit your columns and it'll still work for you. And now we've made an enhancement where if you edit these columns, you leave this page, you go to another section of the product and you come back, this is going to be sticky, right? Only if you log out and log in back, that stickiness will be gone. So our product team is working on even getting that done. But at least for now, the adjustment of columns is sticky. If you leave this page, but you're still logged in, so you're just visiting other part of the product and coming back, your preferences will not go away. The third icon is the filter. And this is on every grid, you'll have a bunch of filters and you can get the curated data that you're trying to work with by applying some of these filters. You'll always see one or two default filters that are always applied, and these filters that are applied will always show in this section. Because right now we're only showing you active students by default, and that's why this filter will automatically be applied. If you do want to see your inactive students, you just cross this out and it will populate all the inactive students. But for the most part, you don't want to work with the inactive students. So we have applied some default filters that we think make sense. You can always modify them though. All right, so I'm going to hop back to my PowerPoint and then we'll take on from there. So we covered these. Let's go to the next slide. So this is just to show you that how some of the other dashboards for the other personas that we support are look. So this is a dashboard for a faculty. So if you see here, when a faculty logs in, they can quickly check who their advisees are. They have a profile section. They have courses that they are associated with. They have placements that they are associated with. So it's very intuitive. On the left-hand side, they can see the announcements that program has made for them. Similarly, a student dashboard, they'll have their own dashboard, and the tiles represent the most important tasks that they're supposed to take care of. And this is the dashboard for a school administrator that you all are already familiar with. This is the institutional users. So this is at the university level. If you have users, then they can actually, they have user management, they have compliance management, and they can manage contracts and get reports out of placements that are done across the programs. So incrementally, we are going to release more and more features at the university level, but right now, these are the high-level functionalities that we have for the institutional user. All right, let's take a quick poll and see how many of you are using faculty module access for your program. Now, you might not have faculty module access, but do any of your colleagues at your program have faculty module access? So majority of them are saying no, but we do have a significant number, almost 40% do use faculty module. That's great. That's great. It's a great way to collaborate on all aspects of your program without oversharing. So if you are thinking about oversharing at all, then do explore the faculty module access and reach out to us to if you want to learn more about it. We're happy to give a demo of it. And actually, down the line in this webinar series, we have one webinar dedicated to talking about the faculty module access. So if you're interested in the click down of all the features that are available for faculty users, do sign up for that webinar. All right, so thank you for your responses. We'll continue. The next section is product customizations. So here I'm going to talk about all the ways in which we have given you a way to tailor make Exxat Prism to fit your needs, right? So some of these customizations are available as self-service, which means you can handle them yourself, you can set up yourself, you are not dependent on us. And then there are a few that you need to contact us for, because these are a little more complicated, and this might require a discussion with your account manager or CSS team, or it's a simple thing but it's something that we need to change or set up from the back end. So our support will help you with that. So I'm going to discuss both of them, and the goal of this section, the next 5 minutes, is for you to understand that what are all the different changes or customizations that are available for you. And you can go through these and you can start making a mental note, oh, I would like to do this or that, to make it work better for my program needs. All right, so then most of our front end setup, the one that we allow you to do, the customizations, most of them, more than 95% of them are located in the setup section of each section of our product. So I'm quickly going to jump back to our live system because it will make more sense. So I'm going to click on this hamburger menu and go to the program section. And here you see the first setup is your school profile. And this is where you set up the basic details of your school, your program logo. So you click on edit over here, and it will allow you to change the label of your program, whatever you want to call it. Instead of PA, if you want to call it physician assistant program, you can, right? You give out the program details, you mission and vision, and this is all optional. So as much details as you want to set up, you can. At the bottom, you see the email setup. This is the default display email that you want to give, right? So when there are auto-generated emails from the Exxat system going out to your students, your preceptors, your CIs, your site personnel or site staff, what is the name you would like to be displayed. So if you would like your university name to be displayed, that it's coming from, say, Exxat University, now you can get it configured like that, right? And that helps your stakeholders, that helps your users identify that it's a bona fide email coming from you. So you can easily set this up. And then you can also set up a default reply to. So for example, if there is a placement notification that is being sent from our system that you're sending to the site personnel, and if they want to respond to it, they want to confirm, they want to thank you, which email should it go to? Now, if you want it to come individually to you, it can. But if you have a group email that you inbox that you want all the replies to go to, maybe it's a clinical group at Exxat University, then you can set it up. So you can set up those group emails or the default reply to emails. And what will happen is whenever you are in the email wizard, the default reply to will always show up with the uh, possibility with the ability for you to override that and give another email in special use cases, right? But most of your work, if you, for the most of the times, if it's a default email address, then it gets auto-populated for you in the email wizard. So that's the benefit of it. Similarly, let's check out a couple of more things here, right? Let's check out the clinical settings part. So here we have program clinical settings. Now you all are familiar that your students may have to complete certain settings via their rotations, and you can set them up here. And once you set them up here, they're available for you for tracking program requirements for your students, for making their placements and defining like this placement will cover which of these clinical settings, right? So this is all customization because different disciplines, different programs may have different clinical settings, and we're giving you full control of how you want to, what clinical settings matter to you and you want to track. You can also pick the color for these clinical settings. So if you are a visual person and if you know that family medicine, when you see pink, you see family medicine, you don't even have to read it, right? So when you click on pencil icon, you are able to give a setting name and you're able to pick a color. You're even able to edit a name, or if you want to remove a clinical setting that you've previously added, you can delete it. So again, it's entirely up to you how you want to use it, what kind of settings you want to design, but this is another example of customization. Then you can even customize how much information you want to share with your site and site partners, right? So you can, we have a dedicated site resource page, and this site resource page is nothing but what your site partners can see. It's a web page, and you choose how much information you want to share with them. So if I was your site partner, if I would click on this link, and this link you can share with them in your email signature, you can email it to them, but when they click on this link, right, they see a message that you have shared with them. They see the clinical education schedule. They see any resources that you have shared with them, like syllabi, handbook, and whatnot. They can see who are the contacts from your program that they can get in touch with. So again, you get to customize how much information, what information, and when do you want to share this. So this is another example of customization. Let's also check out other places in the product. Each section will have its own setup. For example, if we go to the compliance section, again here, if you click on the setup, you get to decide which documents you want to set up for your program, which are the ones that you want to track. And that way, you can customize all these documents, these sections. You can customize the due dates, what kind of follow-ups and reminders do you want to set up, and all of that. Similarly, if you go to courses, there is a lot of customization and setup that's available under courses as well. What kind of learning activities do you want to use? What are some of the course measures that you want to use? You can say we have instructional objectives and course objectives, all of that. So across the system, there is a lot of customization that's available, and play around in the system and check out all of that. So I'm going to go back to my PowerPoint, and let's see what else do we have here. So these are just screenshots of examples of the different customization options that are available for you under different sections of the product, and we went through most of them under the live system. Again, this is the site section, and this screenshot just shows you how you can organize your sites in different categories. You can define your location areas. You can decide what kind of site sharing do you want to do across your program. So for example, if you're a university and if you want to share your sites between your programs, like different disciplines, then you can pick a sharing model. We support 4 to 5 different sharing models, whether you want to just share the contracts or you want to share the contracts and the sites and location data. All those different variations are possible. So our team, our account management team, our CSS team will help you decide the best possible setup for you. And not only can you make those choices, but you'll also see some of those choices that you made always displayed here for your reference, that hey, you are set up in a site sharing model, so it's a FYI for you, so you know what kind of data is being shared, what kind of site data is being shared across your programs. We also do discipline specific terminology. So depending on your discipline, you're going to see different labels appear on your system. For example, PA and nursing use preceptors for their experiential supervisors, whereas PT uses clinical instructor and OT uses fieldwork educator and so forth. So you will see what is relevant for your discipline. You can also now customize expiry of your delegator links. So for example, all the links that are going to your preceptors or CIs by default are set up for 365 days. However, if you want to restrict it to only a month or a couple of months, you can do that by contacting support. Right? Any kind of links that are being shared in Prism are now customizable. Their expiry is customizable. So depending on how strict you want to be about its expiration, you can pick that expiry. We also have a bunch of 35 to 40 other customizations that are available for you via Exxat support. So we have made a easy reference for you. It's a help center document. It's a one pager that walks you through all the customizations that can be handled by contacting support. So please do check this out, because you might be interested in getting some of these customizations done for yourself. And it's available in this link as well as on the help center. All right, let's take a question break. Are there any questions that Ami I can help answer? Sure.
There is a question from Jillian. In the student compliance setup, can we get the email notification when a student uploads a compliance document?
That's a great question. Actually, I am not sure if an email notification to the administrator is possible. If you're using approved service, they will get an in-app notification that it's available for review. But whether as an administrator you can get a notification, I'm not quite sure. How about we get back to you on this? So we'll make a note of it, Jillian, and if you want to just leave an email address for you, we'll get back to you on this. Sorry about that.
Kanti here. I've joined the.
Hi, Kanti.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, so we don't have the notification. We can, the school can only send notifications to the students, or the students get auto reminders. But currently we don't have any notifications that come back to the school. So it's a good, I think, feedback. We can take it up and forward it to the product team. But as of today, there is no notification that comes to the school.
Thank you, Kanti, for taking that. All right, next question.
I don't see any other questions.
Okay, thank you, Ami. All right, in that case, we'll just move on. The next few slides are just to show you what kind of design you would see. And if you've been using our system, you already know this, but I'll just take a few seconds for our new users who are learning our system afresh. So what you're going to see here is these ribbons that come in under every section. And you'll see a pattern here. The first tab on this ribbon is always the setup section, right? And then you would have the main entity. So depending on which section you are in, these tabs are going to change. So you'll see standards under program, then under students, you'll see the students, under faculty and staff, you'll see faculty and staff, and so on. In most of them, you'll also see reports, right? So you'll have reports for students, you'll have reports for compliance, and so many other places. You'll have reports for your sites, for your placements, and for some of them, you'll also have a interactive graphical dashboard. So you'll see a pattern here where you'll see a ribbon in each section and the relevant tabs under that. We covered some of this, like we talked about what are the standard icons. I took you on the live system and explained this to you, so I'm going to skip through this part. So we saw how each of these can be used. We have tags. This is a great feature. Think about these as your personal post-it notes, right? You as administrators can create these tags. You can customize them. You can pick the color. You can pick the labels. And this is a great way to track your entities, be it student, be it sites, be it your personnel, be it your contracts, right? We have tags for everything. And the special thing about tags is tags follow the entity. So wherever you see a student name, there are more chances than not that you'll see a tag there, right? So wherever you see a student name, you'll see this icon. And if you hover on it, you're going to see the tags for that student. This really helps you because if you're on a placement screen and if you're thinking about where you want to place that student, and if that say student is a new parent, or if the student doesn't have a ride or a car, then those tags will help you make those considerations and make the relevant placements, right? So tags are a great way to, for a tactical management perspective, they come in very handy. Also note that these tags are not visible to the students. They are only visible to the school users. So which means that even if you use tags for some sensitive information, the students are never going to see it, right? So I think if you've not already done so, play around with these tags and see how it can help you make some of your processes more efficient. In the reports, wherever you have a reports tag, you're going to see a grid which lists out all the reports that are available in that section, and the category will tell you, for example, this is a student report section, so all the reports that are related to student profile are going to be sorted, and then you have a bunch of reports on student tracking, and then you have audit logs. So you can click on any of these reports and then get that report, right? And when you go through the following webinars, you'll get to see a click down of each of those reports under that section. Then some of our sections also have dashboards, and these are a great way to interact with our system. They give you a bird's eye view of all the important insights that you want to have. For example, this is an example of a compliance dashboard. You can see how many students are there that you're tracking, how many students need some action in terms of their compliance documents, how many documents are approved versus not approved. We also have a by document view. So for example, if it's fall time and you want to review flu vaccinations for all your students, then you're not interested in all the documents. You're just interested in that one flu document for all the students. So then you would click on flu over here and it will take you to all the student documents for flu, right? So we have all these different anchors that you can pick to get your work done. So these dashboards are also very intuitive. So in the next few minutes, what I want to do is go over the program details section. We went through some part of it. So we looked at how you could, customize, for example, the program logo, right? You click on edit details and you choose a file of your logo, you save it, and your logo keeps coming. Then you can set up your clinical settings, and we covered that. Similarly, you can set up and look at your standards. And we pre-populate your discipline-specific accreditation standards, but on top of that, if you have any program-specific standards, you can even upload those. You can also review all the users who have access to the system, what role do they have, so that if you want to make any adjustments, you can. We also provide a variety of features that will allow you to effectively collaborate with your stakeholders, your students, your sites, and your faculty. So I'm giving you some examples here. For example, you can make announcements for all your users. Like you can make student announcements, faculty announcements, and announcements for your site personnel. And you can configure these announcements. You can set up when you want them to go live. And once you have set them up, they will be able to see these announcements on their dashboard. Similarly, you can also set up attestations for your students. If you want the students to agree or attest before they start using the system on their profiles, or that they have received notification of their placement, all of those attestations can be configured. Similarly, you can also configure attestations for your preceptors. Some of our programs like to use that they've reviewed the logs and they've supervised at least 25% of the student logs. So those attestations are also possible. We also allow you to email communication setup. So you can set up your own templates. You can set up what email default email university name do you want to set up, what default reply to do you want to set up. All those customizations are possible. You can have a header and a footer setup for your email templates. As you see here, all of that is possible. We also have a bunch of auto notifications that you can set up across all these areas. So auto notifications for compliance documents, for contracts which are expiring and expired, auto notifications for upcoming placements, when a wish list opens to let the student know that, hey, a new wish list has opened, or you only have 24 hours before the wish list closes, slot confirmation, follow-up dates, notifications, and learning activity notifications. So these are all the areas where auto notifications are possible. Every release, we are giving you more and more auto notification flexibility so that you have to rely less on our team, and we're giving you more control and customization at your end. So if you've not already leveraged these auto notifications, do check them out in the setup section of each of the sections. You can also configure resources for your stakeholders, and this is a great way to set them up for success. So you can set up resources for your students, for your faculty, or your sites. And the resource section looks exactly the same. It's in the setup section. You set up a category for your resource, and then you actually upload a document. By adding a resource, you upload your document, you pick who you want to share with, and whether you want to share it with all cohorts or a particular cohort, and then you click save. So you can do a similar thing for your faculty and your site page as well. Once you have set up these resources, this is how the resources would be visible on their respective dashboards. Similarly, you can also set up your site resource page. I showed you how that looks like. You could share a welcome message with your site partners. You could send them announcements, clinical education schedule, resources, faculty contacts, and all of that, right? So a detailed walkthrough of what kind of setup can be done here will be taken up in another webinar on site section. So I'm not going to go into the details, but this is how it would look. And I showed you on the live system how this looks. You can also set up your school contacts. These are the contacts that they can reach out to if they have questions, right? And this is true for students and for your site partners. And once you set up those contacts from your school site, they will also start appearing on their respective dashboards. Again, we are going to cover announcements in detail in the respective webinars on those sections, but basically it's very simple. You add a new announcement and you can choose when you want to activate and publish it. Once you create that announcement, it starts appearing on your user's dashboard like this. All right, so I think we're going to take another question break, and we are at the top of the hour, so let's see. Do we have any questions?
No, there are no further questions. Some of them have been answered via the chat itself.
Okay, thank you. All right. We do have some additional services that we offer, the approved service for compliance tracking that I talked about, and background and drug screening via our partnership with Universal. We have the integration add-on service that I talked about, and we have a bunch of ways in which we are here to support you. The chat, the help section, the support tickets, and the onboarding notes, and we did a walkthrough of where those are. We also have our entire webinar series published for this training session, and we also have our Tuesday webinar series, which are discipline focused and topic focused. Do check out our website for all the webinars that are available for you, so that you can maximize your learning and adopt our system to the max. Also, all our webinars recordings, all our training videos, we have a repository of training videos for your student orientation, for your faculty orientation, that are available. Check it out on our YouTube channel, and they are created as playlists, so you can easily get all the student orientation videos in one go. Similarly, faculty orientation videos in one go. This is a great resource to also share with your stakeholders. If you are training them, if you are onboarding them, share these links with them. Last but not the least, we have a comprehensive help center. Depending on your persona, we have a bunch of documents, and we have videos embedded in a lot of those documents. We have a comprehensive user manual that's available for you, so do check these out on our help center. And we already talked about how you could raise a support ticket. We also offer in-person training workshops, and these are the upcoming training workshops. We call them the Exxat Prism training workshop. These are done by our US account managers, our US team. They will come to your host university or program, and they will walk you through the product. So check out, if you have an opportunity in your local area to attend one of these sessions. These are completely free. The registration is free. You just show up there. We cover lunch for you, and you get to learn the product, ask questions, and meet with our exact professionals. All right, so I think that is the last slide, so we can wrap up this. Just to remind you, next in this series, we are going to start with part 2 of this 15-part series of webinars, which is going to click down on the student workflow and student section of the product. So we hope you're going to sign up for this as well. It's on May 16th. And thank you all for your time and your questions, and please take a short survey and give us your feedback so we can make this better and better for you. Thank you so much, and you all have a very good afternoon.
Thank you everyone for joining in.